Yo, what is up? Welcome to a new video. I finally got braids, but this is the 5th installment of the fantasy schedule. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I have nothing else to say. See you guys at the end.
Coming up on Cartoon Network, next.
Craig of the Creek.
Coming up on Cartoon Network, next.
More Craig of the Creek.
Coming up next, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, The Amazing World of Gumball on Cartoon Network. Coming up on Cartoon Network, next.
BeyWarriorz, BeyRaiderz.
Coming up next, Pokemon Black and White Adventures in Unova on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, Adventure Time on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, Total Drama All-Stars on Cartoon Network. Coming up on Cartoon Network, next.
Total Drama Island.
Coming up on Cartoon Network, next.
More Total Drama Island.
Coming up next, Ed, and Eddy on Cartoon Network. Coming up on Cartoon Network, next. Coming up next, Cartoon Planet on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, Teen Titans Go on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, Steven Universe on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, Regular Show on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, The Amazing World of Gumball on Cartoon Network. Coming up next, Scooby-Doo Mask of the Blue Falcon on Cartoon Network. Coming up on Cartoon Network, next. Regular Show. Coming up on Cartoon Network, next. Coming up on Cartoon Network, next.
Total Drama Island.
Coming up on Cartoon Network, next. Generator Rex. Coming up on Cartoon Network, next. Check out what's coming up tonight on Cartoon Network.
New Pokemon XYZ. New Beyblade Shogun Steel. Teen Titans. Young Justice.
Symbionic Titan.
My Hero Academia.
Next.
New Pokemon XYZ.
Later.
New Beyblade Shogun Steel.
On Cartoon Network. Next.
New Beyblade Shogun Steel.
Later.
Teen Titans.
On Cartoon Network. Next.
Teen Titans.
Later.
Young Justice.
On Cartoon Network. Next.
Young Justice.
Later. Symbionic Titan. On Cartoon Network. Next. Symbionic Titan. Later.
My Hero Academia.
On Cartoon Network. Coming up on Cartoon Network. Next.
My Hero Academia.
Coming up on Cartoon Network. Next. Generator Rex. Coming up on Cartoon Network. Next.
Justice League.
Coming up on Cartoon Network. Next. Batman, the Brave and the Bold. Next.
Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Coming up on Cartoon Network. Next. Thundercat. Coming up next. Tenkai Knights. On Cartoon Network. Coming up next. Legends of Chima. On Cartoon Network. Next.
One Piece.
Coming up on Cartoon Network. Next. DreamWorks Dragons, Riders of Berk. Coming up on Cartoon Network. Next.
Totally Spies.
Coming up next. Ninjago, Masters of Spin Jitsu. On Cartoon Network. Coming up next. DreamWorks Dragons, Defenders of Berk. On Cartoon Network. Coming up next. Ben 10 Omniverse. On Cartoon Network. Coming up on Cartoon Network. Next. Young Justice. Coming up next. Tenkai Knights. On Cartoon Network. Coming up on Cartoon Network. Next. Batman, the Brave and the Bold.
Thank you guys for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. The next installment of the fantasy schedule will be on October 12th. tune into that video. And upcoming, the Rare Bumpers video on October 27th. See you guys then. See you guys next week. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm tired.